She was not being positioned as the star she truly was. She was placed, not elevated. Seen. And yet, like so many Black women in Hollywood, she was never fully given the throne she deserved.
And something else? During those services, when the singing grew intense, the emotion didn't just bring faith, it brought money. People sang.
Pearl Bailey's sudden death was more tragic than people know. Bailey had traveled to Philadelphia.
Smarted the system while smiling through it all. This is the story of Pearl Bailey.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you. Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and eating me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly.
She made America laugh. She made them fall in love with her voice. She stood on the biggest stages in the world. And yet, like so many Black women in Hollywood, she was never fully given the throne she deserved. This is not just the story of a performer. This is the story of a woman who outlived racism, outperformed expectations, and outsmarted the system while smiling through it all. This is the story of Pearl Bailey. Pearl May Bailey was born on March 29, 1918, in Newport News, Virginia. The daughter of a preacher, raised in the rhythm of the church, where her first audience was God. She began singing at just 3 years old, not for fame, but for survival, for expression, for identity. But life was not soft. Her parents separated, and like many Black children of that era, she had to grow up fast. At just 15 years old, she stepped onto a stage in Philadelphia, entered an amateur contest, and won. That moment changed everything. But the world she was entering was not built for girls like her. Before the fame, there was the grind. Pearl Bailey dropped out of school and entered the world of Black entertainment survival. Nightclubs, vaudeville stages, smoky rooms filled with people who saw her as entertainment, but not equal. She performed anywhere that would take her, and during World War II, she toured with the USO, singing for soldiers, while America was still deciding whether she deserved basic respect. This was not glamour. This was training. Every stage, every rejection, every late night built the woman the world would later call iconic. In 1946, Pearl Bailey stepped onto Broadway in St. Louis Woman. And just like that, the industry saw her. She was talented. She was magnetic. She was undeniable. But Broadway, like Hollywood, came with conditions. Black performers were allowed on stage, but rarely allowed full control. Their stories were limited. Their roles were shaped. Their power, contained. Pearl Bailey didn't just perform. She learned the system. And more importantly, she learned how to win inside of it.
Still don't know whether we ought to sing Mac the Knife, though.
Well, why not, honey? It's a great song.
Well, I agree. I love the song, but my goodness, it's been done so much.
Just because people, they play it over and over again, they don't know. They're trying to figure out what it means.
No, I'm with them. I don't know what it means either.
Well, I tell you what, Donna, you sing it.
Hollywood called! But it didn't fully open the door. Pearl Bailey appeared in films like Carmen Jones, Porgy and Bess. But something was clear. She was not being positioned as the star she truly was. She was placed, not elevated. Seen, but not centered. This was the quiet truth of Black Hollywood. You could be famous and still be limited. You could be loved and still be controlled. Pearl Bailey understood something early. If they won't build the stage for you, you take over the one they give you.
Pearl Bailey, 8 weird facts you didn't know. 8. She was a goodwill ambassador to the UN. She served as a special delegate to the United Nations under 3 different presidential administrations, Nixon, Ford, and Reagan, traveling the world for diplomacy. 7. She had a 38-year interracial marriage. In 1952, she married jazz drummer Louis Bellson in London. Their marriage lasted until her death in 1990, defying the racial prejudices of the era. Number 6. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 1988, President Ronald Reagan awarded her the nation's highest civilian honor for her contributions to the arts and her humanitarian work. Number 5. She starred in an all-black Hello, Dolly. In 1967, producer David Merrick revitalized the flagging musical by casting her in the lead role with an all-African-American cast, a performance that won her a special Tony Award. 4. She wrote 6 books. Beyond being a singer and actress, she was a prolific author, writing 3 memoirs, a cookbook, Pearl's Kitchen, and books on her personal philosophy. 3. She was discovered by Cab Calloway's sister. Her big break came when Blanche Calloway, the older sister of Cab Calloway and a successful bandleader herself, discovered Pearl and hired her as a featured singer. 2. She had her own TV variety show. In 1971, she hosted The Pearl Bailey Show on ABC, which featured guests like Bing Crosby and Louis Armstrong, though it only ran for 1 season. 1. She collapsed on stage at the UN. In 1975, while addressing the United Nations, she collapsed from exhaustion but famously told the concerned delegates, "I'm just tired, honey," and continued.
In 1952, Pearl Bailey married jazz drummer Louis Bellson, a black woman, and a white man. In an America where that alone was controversial, their love was not celebrated. It was judged, criticized, attacked. Even family members opposed it. But Pearl Bailey did not shrink. She lived boldly, loved openly, and refused to let society define her limits. Then came another layer: politics. Pearl Bailey worked with U.S. presidents, performed at the White House, and became a diplomatic figure known as the Ambassador of Love. But not everyone supported her. Some criticized her, saying she was too aligned with political power during a time when Black America was still fighting for justice. But Pearl Bailey had her own perspective. She once said, "Racism wasn't just in the South. It existed everywhere, just hidden differently." She wasn't trying to fit a narrative. She was being herself.
No one ever thought Pearl Bailey would die there in a quiet hotel room in Philadelphia. She had only come for a knee surgery, a routine, simple procedure, almost risk-free. The operation went well. She returned to her hotel room to rest, unaware that something had gone terribly wrong. And just a few hours later, everything suddenly stopped. The woman who once set Broadway ablaze, the one America called the Ambassador of Love, slipped away so quietly that no one even realized what had just happened. Pearl Bailey wasn't just a singer. She was a symbol of grace and resilience in a nation divided by race. Yet behind the spotlight and laughter lay a life filled with contradictions, struggles, and scandals that once shook Hollywood. The story of Pearl Bailey, even at its end, remains far more complex than the world ever knew. But to understand why her death shook America so deeply, we have to go back in time to the little black girl born in the port town of Virginia, the one who was called by a name that was never truly hers. And few could have guessed that this seemingly harmless name would turn out to be a prophecy. For a lifetime, lived in confusion between what the world saw and who she really was inside. Pearl May Bailey was born in 1918 in Newport News, Virginia, a small harbor town filled with the smell of oil, the blare of ship horns, and dreams too big for people too poor. Her father was a Pentecostal minister, a man of unshakable faith, while her mother was a gentle, patient homemaker. They had expected a boy. They'd even prepared the name Dick. But when the baby turned out to be a girl, she grew up being called Dickie, a half-joke, half-judgment nickname that made her feel she had to prove something to the world. When Pearl was 4, the family moved to Washington, D.C., where her father led a large congregation. There, she immersed herself in gospel music, in the clapping hands and soaring voices of church services. It was in that space that she discovered what would later become her only language of survival: music. But Pearl also learned something else. During those services, when the singing grew intense, the emotion didn't just bring faith, it brought money. People sang, danced, and dropped bills into the collection basket. Little Pearl realized that music could not only move hearts, it could open.
Pearl Bailey passed away on August 17th, 1990, at the age of 72. But by then, she had already lived multiple lives. Singer, actress, Broadway legend, diplomat, author, graduate. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest honors in America. But the real truth? Her greatest achievement was never letting the world reduce her.
Pearl Bailey's sudden death was more tragic than people know. Bailey had traveled to Philadelphia so that she could go in for a routine knee surgery. When it was over, she returned to her hotel room to recover, not knowing that something had gone horribly wrong.
Pearl Bailey did not just entertain America. She challenged it. She exposed its limits, and then rose above them. She proved that confidence, charisma, and intelligence could break barriers, even when the system tried to hold you back. And maybe that's why her story still matters today. Because Pearl Bailey wasn't just ahead of her time, she was bigger than it.
it has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick about the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you will need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations. And also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels, and let's see, a 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol is there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil looks like, all that, and the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell, and basically